How you doing, guys? It's your boy Garrius, Maiden, aka G. I'm the CEO and founder of MBSKTheBrand. This is my testimony and story of how I got to MBSKTheBrand, how I got created and founded, and also of my life and the things that I've been through, my trials and tribulations. So I just want to share those things with you guys. A little bit about MBSKTheBrand. We were created in 2020. We were established in Surprise, Arizona, by me and a dear friend of mine. We created the brand originally to share the love and truth of Jesus Christ, the commandment he gave us, which is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, which is unconditionally. That's how you love yourself. So that's what we wanted to do. My brother, sister's keeper is what the MBSK stands for. And then we are the brand. So MBSK, the brand. So a little bit about more of the brand, how it was created and what it means to us. I think it's very important that you have friends or brothers and sisters in Christ to go to in trials and tribulations, good times, bad and ugly and evil. He's a friend that sits closer than a brother. So if he sits that close to me, how could I not care about my neighbor or love my neighbor? Making sure that I love my neighbor as best as I can, whether it's just say, hey, how you doing? Holding the door for them, maybe even just a simple brief conversation. You never know what people are going through or how you can change their perspective with just powerful, kind, and loving words. And that's how Jesus would allow me to move. That's how Jesus loves me. So that's how I'm going to love my neighbor. So that was the original. We had our first drop, I want to say 2021. If you were there, we had the original light blue colorway and some things like that. Eventually my friend that was on the brand, she fell off. Not to do any, we didn't fall out or anything like that, but just due to her own personal reasons. And so I've been the CEO and founder by myself for the past 2 years, which is now, if you're seeing this is the official path to the relaunch for the brand. We're doing some great things, man. We're excited moving forward as far as 2024 and whatever God has for us. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy the testimony or the story that created MBSK-The-Brand. I grew up in the church, as you could say, every other young person did. Meeting a lot of my family and friends there, of course. Things of that nature. I wouldn't say we were a religious household. More or less, I would say, my parents had relationships with Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you don't fully understand the depth or the situation of what's going on as far as that belief and things of that nature. You just think you're going to church. So, of course, early on in my faith, I struggled. You know what I mean? I wondered if God really existed, if he was in my life, if he was around, or if other gods did exist, such as like Allah, Buddha, those things. And I don't mean it to be disrespectful by any means in this video to anyone else's gods or anything like that, but I am going to be 100% authentic, and be myself. So of course, as I get older, I'm not really taking my relationship as serious with God. I'm a kid, bro, focusing on sports, athletics, your first girl crushes, all that, kid stuff. But then I started to meet God in high school. And this is where my life would start to really take turns as far as seeing things that were going on, how I was affected mentally and emotionally by sin and things of that nature. So early on, my struggles with sexual sin, lust, fornication, and adultery. That's what I started off with. Started having, fornication at a real young age. If you don't know what that is, that's sex outside of marriage. So I lost my virginity at about 12, 13. I'm so sorry, Mom. But I just want to be real. And so, of course, you're introduced to something that you don't fully comprehend or understand. It progressed and started getting worse as I started getting older, as I started, understanding the game. That's what we call it, manipulation, lying, etc., those things. You know what I mean? And I wasn't an honorable man by any means. I was a manipulator, a liar, a cheater, fornicator, adulterer, those things, to be completely honest with you guys. To get into the meat of the situation, when I was 16, I entered a very serious relationship with a young lady. Not ready to lead this young lady by any means, to be completely honest with you. Coming out of a very depressed state of my junior year, I tore my ACL. If you know me personally, y'all know I played college football, all of those things. And so right after this ACL incident, of course, I get with this young lady. And long story short, I don't do right. You know what I mean? Like I said, the things earlier, lying, fornicating, etc. And I'm not a man at this time of empathy, understanding, patience, sympathy, you know what I mean? Forgiveness. So how can I love someone, right? How could I have the self-awareness to treat someone right? You know what I mean? How I would want to be treated. It's easy to say those things, but do you have the skills to really do that and treat someone as such and correctly? You dig what I'm saying? And so, you know, I would say I brought a lot of insecurity to this woman. You know, I brought a lot of pain, anger, and things of that nature. You know, and so on and so forth, you know, because my love life was never good. Of course, I was good at sex, but could never talk about my feelings, my emotions, could never lead or guide or instruct. And, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, later on, the relationship would continue to be very toxic, of course, both sides, but I would say I was the leader, of course, the starter of it all, of the situation. But me and that young lady eventually ended up in a pregnancy. She ended up having an abortion. Unfortunately, I never left her side to this day. I could tell you guys I held her hand through it, and I was there. You know what I mean? And to be completely honest, I don't believe any young lady should go through that. Man, it's crazy, but you know, 16, you're going through this, 17. And then so post that, you know what I mean, it does not get better as far as, you know, how me treating her, things of that nature. So then I go to college. That relationship, we finally ended, you know what I mean? A little back and forth, but, you know, immaturity, I would say, more or less. You dig? I go to college. I'm very depressed after this relationship. It's my first year of junior college at Mendocino College. I'm not performing well on the field. My grades are good, you know what I mean? But as far as my mental focus, my weight room, all of those things are not good. My life isn't good. I'm going home every day. I'm sitting in the dark. I'm closing the shades. Excuse me. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not associating. You know, I'm in a very depressed mindset. You know what I mean? Due to this aftermath of relationship, probably guilt and some other things, of course, that I was dealing with. And it led me to a point in my life to where I was going to take my own life. Excuse me if I get emotional. I don't want anyone to think like I'm still upset or struggling with these things, but you just think about how good God has been to you. You can't help but get emotional. So, still remember the day like it was yesterday. They had just got this Thai spot. I'm from Alaska, so you know Thai food is top tier in Alaska. You dig what I'm saying? If you've never been, man. But we just got this Thai spot, so like I had planned out my whole day. I was gonna go to practice, school. I was gonna go, you know, do my regular routine. I was gonna make sure I had my favorite Thai meal, and then I was gonna overdose, take my own life. So I like seen all the homies, like made sure I told them I love them, things of that nature. Excuse me. But then I was getting in the shower, and that was gonna be my last shower, man. And I was in the shower crying, like uncontrollably, y'all. Like, sorry, it's just hard to explain. But I remember I dropped to my knees in that very shower, and that was the first time I ever had a drop of help in my life. I don't think I ever, of course, you know, you pray, but it's different when you ask for help, you know, and man, peace beyond all understanding came over me in that very shower on my knees. No more tears. It was like a warm embrace just came over my whole body. And I rested. I didn't sleep. You know what I mean? I rested that night. And after that day, I would say the spirit of depression was broken off of me. You know, every day I would open up my curtains, make sure I go outside, get sunlight, change my routine and things of that nature. So then as I move on, I'm unable to finish college how I want to. That's another story for another time. But pretty much I give up football, not like that, but in a way. And I go back home, I work in a job because I'm helping out my family, things of that nature. But I'm still struggling as far as lust, fornication, adultery, manipulation, those things, you know, because as a man, you're taught the complete opposite of what God tells you. You know what I mean? As a man, you're taught you're supposed to have all the bodies. As a man, you're supposed to have all the women, all the game, all of those things. But in reality, that's backwards because those guys aren't telling you what's really going on. You know what I mean? Because when you close that phone And when you close them tablets and the video games and you're in real life, like when this camera cuts off and I'm still living real life, what's going on in your mind? You know, you're struggling with anxiety, doubt, fear, shame, and guilt. You know what I mean? Insecurity, because those are the things that come from sin. You know what I mean? You know, we downplay the effects of sin, but we don't downplay sin. If it is all good how we claim to be, where does insecurity come from? Where does that come from? Comparison, adultery, infidelity. You know what I mean? Where do those things come from? That is sin. You know what I mean? So I was still struggling with those things, and still I wasn't as bad as a manipulator. Of course, my sexual relationships were fine. It was really my relationships that I would try to love people that I wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And so then I end up, fast forward, let's get to 2019. I get in a relationship, not smart, realistically. I'm not healed, I'm not right, mentally or emotionally. And so this relationship is going well for a little minute, but it's sin, you know what I mean? It's lust, you know what I mean? It's sin for sure. Lust, fornication, and adultery, honestly. And it ends up getting real bad, like real bad. I remember I spoke to my me mom and my me mom was like, "You really like this girl?" I was like, "Yeah, me mom, I really like this girl." And she's like, "Okay, baby, I'm gonna pray." Man, after she prayed, bro, curtains. I'm talking about everything broke down in the relationship, everything, communication, etc. You know what I mean? And then I was really hurt, man. But I was hurt that I couldn't be successful as far as loving someone, choosing someone, and being right in my own way. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have the skills. You know what I mean? So after that relationship, I was running from God. You know what I mean? I was running from healing, running from accountability, running from apologizing and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And he cornered me, man. Cornered me. I was working at a job on base for Wainwright in Fairbanks, Alaska. And I put my 2 weeks in and I tried to back out, but I couldn't. So I had to go through with my move and move to Arizona. That was my original plan, but I got scared and I was trying to back out. So God forced me to Arizona into isolation. Every day I wanted to learn about sexual sin, how it affected me, affected others around me, what I could heal from, and things of that nature. And that was the first time I really could say in my life, I really dedicated my life to Jesus Christ, to learning him, knowing about him, his teachings, past, present, and future, Old Testament and New. It was the first time I sat down and sought after my Creator. Not just, oh God, please do this, God, please do that. It's not how he works. He's not a genie. He's not some magical man that's sitting outside of a bottle that enters and leaves at my command. You dig what I'm saying? It's not the case. So this is the first time I ever felt like healing in my heart, of letting go of these things that not only I've hurt people, but the hurt I've happened to me too. You know what I mean? Because through sin, you get hurt as well. You may hurt others, but those people are sinning too, whether they think about it or not. And so after that, I sent the apologies I needed to those individuals. Of course, some were accepting, some weren't. You know what I mean? But I can't heal for you. You know what I mean? I can't heal for you. I can't move on for them. You know what I'm saying? And if you still feel like you need an apology, then I'll take this moment and say I am genuinely sorry for anyone that I hurt, anyone that I brought pain to, fear, insecurity, any of those things. I apologize. Due to my lack of awareness, you know what I mean? Of course, I was a kid. I don't try to put it all on that, but now I'm a man, I'm 26. So I understand what I was doing, what I was causing, the issues, you know what I mean? So I genuinely and truly apologize to whoever, you know what I mean? If you felt like you never got that from me, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not healing for you. I'm not moving on for you. So whatever grudges you got, that's on you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm the example, the living proof of a man who's done all the wrong, and he's changed me, redeemed me, given me a new heart. My mind is clear. I'm also engaged. You know what I mean? I have empathy, sympathy, understanding, and patience, and kindness. I have the skills to love someone, not only just my fiance, but my friends. How can I say I love someone of my friendship or things of that nature and I can't love properly you know what I mean, as a friend either. You dig what I'm saying? So it's deeper than that. So young boy, I do want to reassure you, you don't have to sleep with women to say that you're a man. You don't have to sleep with women to think that you're cool. You don't have to sleep with women for your pride or your ego. You know what I mean? Because those are the things that the kids that are a couple years older than you, excuse me, are telling you. Oh, you gotta be having it. That's how we talk, right? We gotta have the H words. We gotta have the B's. We gotta have that. That's how we talk. But when you stand in front of Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? That's not gonna be the conversation. And that's for any of these people. That's LeBron, Duke Dennis, Guy, all of them. You know what I mean? When they stand in front of Jesus Christ and he says account for your life, and you know what I'm saying? And you go up there and that list is up there and you think that you was trying to be like King Solomon and all this. No, sir. He's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. You worker of iniquity. It's not about how much money you give to people. It's going to come down to those things that I just told you. Are you a manipulator? Are you a liar? Are you a cheater? Are you, have you ever done these things? If you have, we've all fallen short of the glory of God. And we all need Jesus for repentance. You know what I mean? And so that's what led us here to MBSKTheBrand. You know what I mean? We've been popping for the past 4 years, doing our thing. The man behind the camera, Amari, make sure y'all get at him. Blessed to have met him on my journey as well. Great friend of mine, added to my purpose circle through the glory of God as well. So just want to share my story, share how we got here. You know what I mean? I hope you all are blessed. Go with God. You know what I mean? He's coming soon. So go with God. God be with you all. Peace.